Hello and welcome to today's video. This year marks 5 years since I started making content and I thought it's probably time for a Q&A video of some variety. I think I've done one. I answer questions in live streams and stuff, but I've not done like a Q&A video in many years now. I had pulled together some questions from some like book mangatube tag questions, and I do still have some of those, but I did also ask for some questions on my Instagram and got quite a few through that, so that is actually, to be honest, what makes up the majority of these questions. If I feel this video might end up going on too long, I might do like an edited cut for public viewers and then a mega super cut for members. I'll see how it goes by the end. Question 1, introduce yourself. So, hello. I am Caitlin, or Caketinz online, and this is Mika, who's now just left me. I am a UK-based manga content creator, though I don't just do manga anymore. Specifically, the North Yorkshire, nearish Leeds is where you will find me. I've been collecting manga for about 15-ish years now, when I was gifted my first few volumes, and I've kind of remained smitten with the medium ever since. I just absolutely adore manga. What types of videos do you make? So primarily manga themed videos, though I've started doing some which are like figures, or I've done a few other like odd one-shot, I guess, not to keep it on theme with manga, some sort of like one-off videos on specific things. Like I like to do my nails. I've done a video on that, though that might still only be available for members actually. Specifically, I really like doing haul videos because I find it's just so like fun to talk about what I've been picking up and also talking about what I've been reading in regards to what I've been picking up. I love doing shopping videos. I love going around and showing everyone places where they can go and find and pick up manga themselves. Trying to get a bit more into doing reading vlog sort of videos. It's not something I feel like I'm particularly good at, but I'd like to try and strengthen myself a bit more along those lines. So I've been trying to do those a bit more as well. What kind of manga do you like to read? I am really happy to read literally anything apart from horror. I am a big old scaredy cat baby who does not enjoy the horror medium, movies, books, manga. Not a fan. Don't really mind gory, it's more like the creepy, psychological, especially with movies. It'd be things like jump scares. I'm a very jumpy, anxious person, which I'll talk a bit more about later on, but I am a very, very jumpy, anxious person, so I tend to avoid horror. I also tend to generally try and avoid anything too depressing. If I know it's fairly depressing before I pick it up, I'm usually more unlikely to pick it up. Good night, Pun Pun. Mostly because I just find that that sort of series can really end up affecting myself mentally, and I don't need that. I already have enough things bothering me. I don't need to add reading something to make me sad to make me in a worse state. But otherwise, happy to read anything. I absolutely adore isekai, as I talk about a lot. I love isekai. I love the bad isekai. I love the good isekai. I tolerate the average isekai. I love villainess. I've been really enjoying Manhwa stuff recently. This Manhwa month currently in the Dudet Discord, and I've just been obsessed with it. I love cute slice of life. I love battle series. I love a lot of high school romance, mysteries, that kind of thing. Oh, I'm just so easily pleased when it comes to reading. I just absolutely adore it. What is your favourite manga? I am gonna cop out and give you my top 5. And these top 5 are in no particular order. Please don't ask me to rank them because I don't think I can. So first off, which is fairly well known, it is The Otherworld's Books Depend on the Bean Counter. It is a BL isekai and I am so obsessed with it. Like properly, I have a problem. Even people I work with know I have a thing to do with beans, but they don't really understand why I have a thing to do with beans. They just know about it. I think one of the things I loved about it was I'd been a bit unsure about like the BL series. I'd read a lot and I'd just not been enjoying them, and Otherworld's Books was one of the first ones I read and I was just absolutely completely smitten by it. I love the characters, I love the plot. I think also as well, I get a bit annoyed sometimes in a BL when one of the characters is a bit more like timid, childish, cries a lot, but neither of the main leads in Bean Counter are like that, and I think that was one of the things that drew it to me, and like it felt like it gave me a lease of life on the BL-ness and I have since found a whole bunch of other series that I really do enjoy. I love my Beanie Boys so much. Next, it is Komi Can't Communicate, and I know there is very mixed opinions on Komi Can't Communicate, so let me tell you why I love Komi Can't Communicate. It might not fully come across as someone who makes content videos and has done on approach for 5 years, but I used to be incredibly quiet, shy, anxious. No, I am still like that, just not when I'm recording. I was really bad when I was in school. I would go days without talking. I couldn't bring myself to find my voice. I didn't like talking. I didn't know how to talk. And when I first read Komi at the start, I definitely felt like a kinship with the character. I felt like I was seeing myself so much in her, in the wanting to better herself, not really knowing how, and she ended up with another character who kind of helped to break out of that mold. And I've just found reading Komi and watching her progress and do better has been absolutely delightful. It just makes me so happy to read and see someone who has been like this at the beginning being able to improve and do better. It's something that I have hoped I have managed to do, especially through this sort of thing, making content. But it was just so lovely to read about a character like that I could see myself in, I guess. Next is One Piece. I mean, One Piece is One Piece. I've been reading it it's one of the oldest series in my collection. I picked up a lot of the volumes for a couple of pounds each back when I was in school. I was reading them out of order because that's just the order I managed to pick them up in, and it's just such a saga. It really is. But it is also incredibly difficult to recommend to anyone due to its length and cost. Even the anime is like so long. That's just so hard to recommend, but yeah, love One Piece. Next we have Villains Are Destined to Die. Technically not a manga, it is a manhwa, but I am still including it. It was one of my first forays into manhwa. It was probably like the second series I read, the first one being Solo Leveling. And well, first off, it is absolutely gorgeous. The artwork in that is just a beauty to behold, and every volume is a blessing to read. And then it being an isekai villainess with some delectable looking gentlemen, that was kind of like my gateway into another subset of a genre I was already very much in love with, and I love it for that, and also it's just really good. And it's actually been one of the very few series I've allowed myself to pick up the Korean editions of because they come with like fancy stuff, and I've built a shrine. I'll do a follow-up video showing you my shrines at some point, but there is a Villains Are Destined to Die shrine. And then the final series in my top 5 is A Witch's Printing Office. It is a 6-volume isekai, and it's just incredible. I went in completely blind, and I think that very much helped me enjoy the series. It is about a girl who wants to try and make it back home, and she, back on Earth, was a frequent visitor of Comiket and decides to start up her own to try and find special magic that'll send her home. The artwork is incredibly good. It feels almost way too good for what it is. I know a few of the covers have some booby characters. Don't let that put you off. It doesn't really, they just are. It's not really like a big deal. It's not really that played upon. It's funny, it's silly, it made me cry. I absolutely adored it. I didn't even realize the 6th volume was the last one until I was halfway through reading it. I cried so much. I really recommend it, and it's short. I adore the series. So they're my top 5. What is your favorite genre? I've kind of already talked about that, my bad. Isekai is my favorite. Villainess. Systems. I adore systems. Stats. So like Solo Leveling and Overgeared, specifically Manhwa, SSS, Revival Hunter, Tomb Raider King, those that I've been reading this month. Yeah, system, yes. And villainess, all villainess, oh my god. And also the dumbest ones. The dumbest ones are also sometimes reincarnated as out a spoon I left under the table, that kind of thing. Yes. How do you read manga? Digital, physical, library, etc. I read exclusively physical manga. Now, would like to preface, I have nothing against digital. In fact, it's usually my go-to recommendation for anyone who's like, I want to try this series, I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy it. Please try and read it digitally. I'm never going to outright recommend you read naughtily. I will always try and point you towards more legitimate sources because it does help out the manga medium as a whole, as well as the creators. But yeah, I don't have anything against digital. It is primarily because for my day job, I'm sat at a screen. For my editing content videos, I'm sat at a screen. And the other hobby I like to do, playing games, I'm sat at a screen. So reading manga is pretty much the only time of the day when I am not looking at a screen, and I value it so much, and I am able to, so I choose to. But it's not that I have anything against digital. If I had to downsize or was stopping to collect, I would swap over and I would have no qualms with it. Just at the moment I am able to, and that's how I choose to do it. When it comes to libraries, I don't know about other cities, towns, countries, whatever, but around me they keep closing libraries, and the nearest library to me, I had a look, and they've got like 20 volumes of manga, and it's like Death Note Black Edition Volume 3, and that's the only Death Note volume they have. So it's not overly an option, and they don't really do much like a fill in and they'll try and get it in. That's not overly much of a thing. If I wanted to try and go to a more bigger library or group libraries, I'd have to drive a bit more out of my way, and that feels a bit counterintuitive. A little. It's probably at that point just easier to go digital. Unfortunately. But I am a bit, to be honest, I'm a big advocate for digital. I read digital regular books and fan fiction a lot. It's just manga, if I possibly can, try to read it physically. What book or series got you into reading? So specifically manga, my first manga volumes was Love Hina 1-3 and Naruto 1-2. And the story, I've told it before, I'll tell it once again, is a colleague of my parents was moving house and was doing a big clear out, and they brought in boxes of DVDs, books, crap that they didn't want to take with them when they moved. They were giving a bunch away, and if they were just going to take it to a charity shop if no one picked it up. And I remember I'd gone into the office of my parents after school, and they were like, "Oh, Caitlin, you'll love manga and anime. You must know Naruto. Would you like these?" And I was like, "Oh, what's Naruto?" And here we are. Every now and again, my dad will send pictures to him and be like, "This is all your fault." In terms of reading is something that I grew up in quite heavily. My parents are both quite heavy readers, and pretty much from birth, I was surrounded by books. All the books, always had books. Books would be bought for me. I am very thankful and privileged to have grown up in an environment like that where reading was encouraged. My dad would like research what has been popular books and get them for me. I still remember the day a box came and he handed me a pile of books and he was like, "These were nominated or voted like best reads for teenage girls," and it was the Twilight series. So my dad bought me the Twilight series because he read it was good. Same with a whole bunch of other books as well. I grew up reading like Asterix and Obelix, Tintin, Le Petit Nicolas. So a lot of other stuff, and comics as well. My dad's big into comics, so I grew up reading comics as well. So reading like regular books as well, I did so much of it growing up. It's only really been more recent years that I've kind of moved away from reading normal books. Not because I don't want to, I really do. I just don't have the time to do both manga and regular books. And I've chosen to focus on manga at the moment. That may change, and I do still try and slip in a regular book every now and again, just not as many as I used to. I used to read a book a day when I was in my teens. What other hobbies do you have outside of manga? Well, gaming. I do a lot of gaming. Ben, my partner, is a massive gamer as well, so we play a lot of video games together. We play a lot of hit MMORPG, Final Fantasy 14 with I always said that I would never get into playing an MMO because I would become obsessed, and that is exactly what happened. I'm a bit calmer now, but a lot of Nintendo games. Grew up with Nintendo consoles, grew up with Xbox consoles. I used to play a lot of Call of Duty growing up, and Guitar Hero, loved those. But yeah, Zelda as well. Wind Waker is my favourite game of all time. I adore Dragon Quest, I love the Paper Mario games, JRPGs, very much so. I've recently been getting a bit more into real-time strategy and city builders. I love Age of Mythology, and then I tried Age of Empires and it just did not hit the same, and I was so disappointed. But yeah, gaming is also a big part. To be fair, when I started making content, I was like, do I make an account for manga or do I make an account for gaming? I flipped a coin, it was manga. And here we are. Other hobbies, I used to bake a lot. I don't tend to as much, I have less time. I did used to bake like once a week when I was pre-COVID times, really. I feel like COVID stunted it really, weirdly. And yeah, reading, a lot of reading. What does your book collection look like? Well, I do post a yearly manga collection tour where I go over it. I'll try and film some little short footage showing you the shelves at the moment. They are very messy because I am very much about to start filming a manga organization video where I'll clean them up. I do it like 2 or 3 times a year, and in the run-up they look at the worst, okay, so don't judge me. But I'll try and do some short clips. Primarily, it's IKEA billies with a couple of extensions on top, and then I also force in a couple of shelves in the middle. I line them with fairy lights and I use command hooks to keep them up. I did used to use duct tape, but that started to fall down, so I now use command hooks. Are a little pricey, but sometimes they go on sale on Amazon and I bulk buy like 150 of the hooks. Fairy lights, I really like the ones from the range. I feel like that white, warm white tone is just the one I like, so the range is usually my go-to, and I buy a few extra packs when it gets to Christmas just in case a couple like die during the year. And then I've covered them all in crap and figures and blind boxes and stuff. I should probably clear them down a little so they don't look too messy. What was your last read, your current read, your next read? Well, as it is Manhwa month, I accidentally decided to try and read down my Eyes Press volumes. I say accidentally because it wasn't initially my intention until I got about a week in and I was like, actually, let's try and do this. So I'm trying to read up all the Eyes Press volumes I have. If you don't know, Eyes Press is a imprint of the Empress publisher who publish, Eyes Press publish Manhwa, Korean webtoons, that kind of thing. My last read was Itaewon Class. I caught up with the volumes I had, which was volumes 2 and 3. I believe there was another one out. And I am currently reading Uncanny Counter, another couple of volumes for me to be up to date on that. And then I can't decide what I read next, maybe Unholy Blood or Seven Fate Shako, so I can be up to date with the whole K-pop volumes, because I read both Dark Moon and Star Seekers this month. If I read Seven Fates, I'll be up to date with what I have on that one as well. Can't decide yet. But yeah, reading up my Eyes Press and I'm so pleased with myself. There'll be a manga review vlog once the month is over, and I'll go through everything I read though if you're interested in more details. Where do you read? I will literally read anywhere. I'm very thankful that I can read in vehicles while they're moving. The only thing that tends to make me car sick is if I get too warm. So blast the AC and I'm good to go. I love reading on trains. It's probably my favorite place to read. I'll read in bed, I'll read on the sofa, I'll read on my desk. I'll read whilst I'm boiling pasta and I'll have a volume in my pocket and I'll read a chapter. I will read literally anywhere. I don't need to. It's nice to be set up in a cozy little space, but I don't need it. I will read literally anywhere, upside down. I read on the treadmill sometimes, which Ben says I should stop doing because sometimes I veer off. But I walk on the treadmill. If I'm not going too fast, just like a slow walk, I'll read as well. Why do you love reading? I don't even know how to express how much I enjoy reading. It makes me so happy to just be reading, to be absorbing these stories. I also find that as someone on the spectrum, sometimes I find reading helps me understand emotions, reactions, and choices and decisions that characters make in certain situations that I myself might not understand. And it helps me see an insight into why does a person do this? Which sounds very deep. Mostly, I just love stories. I love taking it in. I love learning through stories as well. So series like Blue Lock, Blue Period, Stuck on My Blues, where I've learned so much about football and painting. I find that just fascinating. There is a Manga Guide to series which teaches you up to sometimes degree level in a particular field. I managed to complete a GCSE qualification using the statistics one. That was my guide, because I did it in my own time, like an absolute nerd. And there was a story to it, and it just made it so much fun. I just simply, absolutely, unequivocally adore reading, and manga as a medium, I think, is such a fascinating way to do stories in that, yes, it's pictures, but you can get such a variety of really cute, sweet, light-hearted, means nothing to some really hardcore, emotional, devastating series with some incredibly complex messaging. And I find it just I love the visual factors it gives alongside these beautiful, sometimes awful stories. Even just the thought of I can sit down and read just fills me with just absolute joy and excitement. I can't like say to Ben, oh, this lunchtime, I'm just gonna go sit and read. And I can't wait. I'm so excited for it to get to lunchtime, and I'm just gonna go sit and read a book, a manga, a volume, anything, and just, oh, I love it. I just absolutely love it. But how do I was gonna say, how do I get that across, having talked for like 5+ whatever minutes, just saying I love reading so much, but I really, really do. It's the main reason I do all of this, is just to share an outlet, my love, for the medium, really, truly. So those are all the questions that I pulled from like tag things. The rest of the questions are ones that were asked of me on Instagram, which is most of them. What inspired you to first start? So we are going to go to COVID, back to COVID time, back to 2020. Actually, it was pre-COVID. I think it was earlier in the year, it was like January time. I started showing a bit of interest in Instagram, primarily the feed where you've got the squares for your pictures, though they're not squares anymore. And I really became a bit obsessed with populating my feed with nice looking square pictures. I love the idea of just blocks of a picture and having them in a flow. I don't know how to sit in my feed. I don't know how to describe it. I really wanted to populate and post enough pictures that I would fill the screen on my then personal Instagram account. And that kind of continued a little bit into lockdown, and I started taking a bit more, I started getting into it a bit more. Instead of thinking about it once a week or once every few weeks, I was like, every day, I'd like to take a picture. What do I want to take a picture of? And I was posting a load of different things. I posted pictures of like nail polish, really do enjoy doing my funky nail polish. Posted a picture of some like Mahama beads, some nice trees. And then one day I posted a picture of some of my manga shelves, and I got some reactions from the then manga community, people liking it, people commenting on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, there are accounts for manga. Oh my gosh. And this just hadn't occurred to me because I was still an absolute major Instagram noob. I had no idea what was going on. So I got a bit excited and I started posting a few more pictures about manga. And then after I think about a month or so, I thought, let's try and make a specified account. That seems like it might be fun. And that's when I was trying to decide, do I do gaming, do I do manga? And I did decide to do manga. It was a bit of a coin flip, / Ben was also like, you should probably do manga, you have more things to take pictures of. So I made a manga account, and I've gone by Caketinz for more than 20 years now. So I was like, well, I need to include Caketinz. I'm doing manga, Caketinz does manga. And then I thought, if I do decide to do anything else, I can just do Caketinz does something, whatever. But I've gone against that now. I'm kind of just sticking with one. I'm not going to manage multiple accounts. I can barely manage the accounts I do have. And then most of the time shortening it just down to Caketinz. And then yeah, I started posting pictures of manga collections. I started talking to more people on there. One of the very first accounts I saw on Instagram before I even made my manga one was Geeky Dreams. I saw Geeky Dreams post a picture of their manga collection, and I was like, oh, that's so pretty. I want to post a picture like that. So it's all her fault, really. I got really into posting pictures. I loved posting really fun. I used to post some like really cool pictures, by the way. I used to like make pictures out of manga volumes. I'll see if I can find some to put on here as well. I did lots of colourful ones. I love doing colourful ones. Did big rainbow shots. I'd love to redo that one, but on a mega scale, if I have the mental capacity to handle that, maybe. And Ben as well, poor Ben. And yeah, so that was about June time, and then I was doing this for a few months and then started watching manga collection tours on YouTube. I'd not really been much of a YouTube user in the lead up to this, gotta be honest. I never actually had a YouTube account until I made one for this. I watched videos from Himika, I watched videos from Geeky, I watched a bunch of other manga collection tours, and then I was like, should I try and do that? And I did! Ah! Going back, you can definitely see how incredibly awkward and anxious I was. I was so incredibly awkward and anxious. And to be fair, I am still like that in person. If you ever see me in person, that's exactly what I'm like. On like recording, I feel like I've come out of my shell a little bit, which is quite nice. But that was actually one of my first initial goals from making videos, was to try and improve my speaking skills dramatically because it was actually hindering me like pretty badly. I was struggling with work because I couldn't voice opinions, concerns, anything. I just couldn't talk and even like stand up for myself or talk for myself, and it was hindering me quite badly. I needed to try and not even just develop my confidence, but just speaking skills. Like still to this day, if you see me live streaming or even typing, I do still struggle with English, with phrasing, with pronouncing words, with structuring my sentences. I am still improving, but it is still a weakness of mine that I am very aware of. But I have very much found doing videos has helped me to the point that I have completely changed direction in my career, doing amazing. I am having so much fun. I love what I do. But if you had asked me 5 years ago, would you do this? Absolutely no way in hell. I would have not had the confidence or the capabilities of doing it. But because of making content and practicing and continuously talking like this, I have improved myself dramatically, and I'm so pleased with where I've gotten to. Do you have a schedule for making content? I do have a schedule. Do I follow it? No. So as of June of this year, I have been posting a video once a week, every week for 3 years, and I'm completely gobsmacked that I've managed that, to be honest. One of the things that has helped me is I do track videos using my spreadsheet. Praise be spreadsheets, we love spreadsheets. But I do track my videos, and I do vaguely try to schedule what I intend to film. Things always change. I might not get around to filming a video, I might have filmed 5 more that I didn't intend to, or I hadn't managed to finish editing or something like that. So things always do move around, but I do have built myself kind of a schedule. I do share it quite often with some of the members on the channel. I share the schedule intentions. I try and follow them as best as I can. I never do, but it has very much helped me vaguely try to follow something. My current goal is kinda to do a haul a month, a vlog a month, maybe an unboxing, and then a bonus video, which is often like a shopping video or something fun I've done, like when I did rainbow shelves or when I've gone to like MCM outings, that kind of thing. Tends to be like the 4th one, and then that kind of covers me for a month if I've managed to do extra ones. Wonderful. Figure unboxings as well. What does Ben think about you making videos? What did he say when you told him? Ben was in a state of bemusement considering the kind of person I was 5 years ago. Ben is incredibly supportive. Ben proof watches all my videos. Ben helps me with editing if I have struggles. Ben takes me places to film. Ben helps me carry the manga. Ben is an absolute amazing, wonderful, supportive partner. Thank you, Ben. I love you so much. You are an absolute gem, and I appreciate everything you do to help me and the channel and everything I do. Thank you so much. I think Ben does overall kind of enjoy it. I know he's going to be proof watching this and going all red and blushing. It'll be super funny, except I'm probably asleep through all of this. But I do appreciate immensely the help Ben has given me, and I wouldn't trade him for the world. Would he ever make videos of his own? I'm going to dub him in it. Ben has made videos of his own. He's posted them on YouTube and then gotten shy and not made them public. So I'm outing you, Ben. I'm outing you. He's done some gameplay videos. He's done some edited videos. He's even done a couple of manga line novel ones. But yes, he has gotten very shy. He too was trying to use it as a way to help his improving of speaking up, speech skills, because he too struggles in a similar way that I have in being able to stand up, voice, command, concern, share with the room. And I think they were helping him, but he is very bad at sticking with it. I'm outing you again, Ben. I've tried to convince him maybe to film some videos with me, and he's like, yeah, sure, and then gets really shy. So I'm trying, especially for his light novels. And also now that he's fallen into the Danmei pit. Do the people around you know you make videos? What do they say? People around me do know that I make videos, some of which I have told, some of which they have found, and I'm very surprised at how do you find me? I told my sister, because, yeah, I told my parents, because, yeah. I think they're also in a state of bemusement. They find it very odd and also really nice, and I think it's just really nice and sweet, and that I'm having fun, and I think they're genuinely shocked and really glad to see how much it has helped me better myself, considering I'm just sat here in my living room making silly little videos. I did tell work because I have done so much public speaking and gone by Caketinz for so long, it's quite easy to find out where I work. So just as an FYI, like, is this okay? And everyone was like, yeah, we don't care, that's fine. So I'm quite public about where I work as well, and people there know that I do videos as well. Friends of mine that are like outside of manga, there's like a mix of they don't really get it, but they're like, well done, you've done, that's very nice. I even got a comment from someone who I went to school with who was like, well done, I can't believe you're like doing this kind of thing. I never would have thought you would do this kind of thing. And I'm like, oh my god, how did you find me? Because back then I don't think I even had like 1,000 subscribers. Do you find yourself buying more just to make big haul videos? Yes and no. Do I find myself buying more? Yes. To make big haul videos? No. Choose to believe me or not, however you like. I am going to be completely honest in this video because I don't see the point in fibbing. I 100% buy way more than I used to before I made content. Is it to make big videos? No. Before I started making content, I was very much in a manga bubble. I collected Shonen Jump, and pretty much the only real series I'd like deviated out of the Viz bubble was Fairy Tail. And to be fair, just before I started making content, I'd started watching some isekai anime, which is where my isekai love began to develop, and I had started to pick up some isekai series such as Konosuba. That time I reincarnated as a slime. But that was my first foray into non-Viz, and to be fair, Shonen Jump series. Even before then, before I started making content, shoujo series I owned, it was like Honey So Sweet, Say I Love You, I think. I'm not really sure I had much more than that. I'd have to go back and check. And I think what's happened is I'm now making content, I'm viewing other people's content, I'm seeing what other people are picking up, I'm seeing them talking about things they're picking up, and I'm like, damn, I want to read that, I want to get in on that. So it's less that I'm buying more to make big hauls, and it's more my eyes have been opened to what is out there, and I want to take that in myself. See someone being like, oh gosh, this was really good, and I'm like, oh, I want to try it now. I want to see if I think it's really good. I want to try it myself. I want to read it. I want to see what it's like. And that is genuinely one of the main reasons that I have so much, is I just want to absorb and read so much. But it's less for the big haul videos. To be completely honest, I still don't actually film everything I pick up. Oh, it's really shameful. It is very shameful. But I don't. I try and group them nicely, but the whole videos to me I see more as a share my excitement for what I'm picking up, showing you what's new, what's coming out, and less to show off. Though it does come across that way, I'm not going to dispute that. That's not really like my major intention. Again, choose to believe it or not, I don't really mind. That's the truth. Do you ever make videos just for views? Following on from that, to be honest, I do genuinely love filming haul videos because I really struggle talking about a series for a prolonged period of time. As I've said, it's probably the next thing I want to try and work on is doing a more detailed analysis about a series. But when I'm doing hauls, it kind of gives me that like 5 to 20, 30 second of window to talk about a series before I can move on to the next one. So I'm able to do bite-size, here is about the series, what I'm thinking, where I've picked it up, if I've picked it up cheap, where can you pick it up cheap? Because I do very, very much love trying to help people find sales and bargains and all of that jazz. The one kind of video I film, and I do it just for views, and you're gonna bear with me, I'll explain why, is my manga reorganization videos. I absolutely adore watching reorganization videos. I even love watching my own reorganization videos once they're done, but oh my god, it like absorbs my life when I'm filming them for about a month. It takes about a month because I don't know, I have a problem buying manga. So it takes me so long to film them, it takes me so long to edit them. A 20-30 minute reorganization video, I'll probably end up with 6 hours of raw footage to edit that down, and it just it's consuming. I really like watching them. I love watching other people's. I love watching my own when they're done, but filming and editing reorganization videos is my least favorite thing to do, but they do really, really well because they are really satisfying, but I do dislike doing them. But that's like, I think that's the only one I dislike doing. I love shopping vlogs, I love hauls, I love doing the streams and all the little fun bits. I do like talking about my reads as well, I just don't think I'm very good at it. But I think, yeah, that's the one that I do for views. forgive me. Do you have a favourite video that you have ever done? To be honest, I think a lot of like the odd one-shot kind of videos I do, where like the Travelling Man Warehouse video, that was amazing. It was the day after my birthday. I'd gone into Leeds to try and go to the store on my birthday. They were unfortunately closed. I don't remember why. I think there was a electrical fault or something. I think I'd done a post or something saying they were going to be closed the day before, and I was like, dang, I hope you'll be open tomorrow. It's my birthday. I'd love to stop by. They were unfortunately still closed, but then they reached out saying, do you want to stop by the warehouse tomorrow? It was like, sorry, we're closed. I was like, yes, okay. I did happen to have the day off from work, so I could, and that was just an absolutely amazing experience, and I am incredibly appreciative of them for it, letting me in and cause havoc. And alongside Travelling Man, doing all the Travelling Mans in one day was absolute fun, just because it was such a fun little challenge to do, and as much as we rag on each other, it was really fun doing it with DB. It was a great time. If we hadn't hit traffic, it would have been a bit nicer to stop for lunch at some point. But otherwise, that was really fun. And also meeting Dragon Ball Zowie at the end, absolutely delightful, though I was dead man walking at that point and I felt pretty bad about that. Doing MCM, that kind of thing, was really fun. Doing videos with people have been really fun, though I find it quite anxiety inducing. That kind of thing, probably ones that I've really enjoyed. What's your favourite thing about making content? For me, it is just having this outlet, this creative outlet for my hobby, and being able to talk about something I love without fear of, really? Reading manga? You're almost 30? And I do think that is an important aspect when making videos. I read a really interesting comment on, I think it was Reddit of all places, of when you're making videos, who are you making videos for? Are you making videos for others? Or are you making videos for yourself? And I think that really stuck with me. And I definitely do think I am making videos for myself. I am viewing making content as a creative outlet for a hobby that I adore and love, and I do welcome absolutely everyone to come along on my journey, and I am incredibly appreciative of everyone who has come along, who subscribed, watched a video, liked a video, left a comment, follows me on Instagram, joined the Dudette Discord server, talked on the Dudette Discord server. I'm incredibly appreciative that anyone who has engaged in my little space community for just sharing an absolute love for the medium. I love how much of a community the manga fiends collective is, especially on Instagram, especially in Discord. It is just an absolute delight to see people share their also love for the medium, and even just other things. Just look at my pet, aren't they cute? Yes, they are. They're all so cute. Such a good boy and girl. I think that favourite thing is absolutely finding a welcoming and amazing community. What video would you love to make if money, time, effort was no problem? I feel like a really obvious one would be like go to Japan, maybe. I would love to go to Japan at some point. To be honest, I am an incredibly nervous traveller. I get really anxious, incredibly anxious, full of stress, anxiety. I am trying to work on. I don't do great still when I need to travel. Yeah, I'm really bad at traveling. Anyone who has traveled with me will know I get really bad. And I think I'm worried that I'm worried and I'm not even like planning it or doing it just yet. I'm worried that Japan might break me a little in just being too stressed. I'd be really excited and I'd really appreciate it, but it's a lot of journey, time, money to go and then just be really stressed the whole time. So I think part of it, I need to work on myself a bit before I can do that. The other video I would love to do is I would love to arrange a manga community meetup in London, hire a space and have like a timetable session of like stuff we do throughout the day, have quiz, Q&A, invite loads of UK-based content creators or even European-based content creators and have an absolute mega bash of it. I'd love to try and do something like that. But renting space in London, something I've been looking at for like a year now, is pricey. It's very pricey. So that is, and also it'd be a lot of effort to arrange everything and coordinate people, and I don't do good at that. Are you in debt? Lol. No. I have done a whole other video where I talk about how I afford collecting the way I do. I do not specify specific amounts of money, and there is a reason for that. I'd get a lot of shit, and I don't think I can be arsed with that. I never spend more than I can afford, and I do still put money into savings. I understand, appreciate, and I'm incredibly thankful for the privileged position I am in to be able to collect the way that I do. It's one of the reasons I really like trying to share sales, discounted, secondhand, pre-owned places to try and help people collect in a more affordable manner as well. It's definitely one of the things that helps me collect more, buying sale and pre-owned stuff. I also buy a lot of crap series. But no, I am not in debt, unless you count mortgage. Ugh. Will you do more collabs in your videos? I am always up for doing collabs in my videos. Just, I once again would like to reiterate, I am an absolute bundle of anxious stress and reaching out to someone terrifies me, absolutely terrifies me. And I also am continuously terrified that I would just let them down and not do good enough, because I'm just winging it and I don't really know what I'm doing half the time. I just want to talk about manga and say I love it so much. So I'm not opposed to doing collaborations. I'm very much up for doing collaborations. Reaching out and also figuring out what to do in the form of collaboration is the main thing stopping me, to be fair. Though also I'm not really interested in collaborations with people I've not really spoken to. My preference is to try and do collaborations with people I have some form of existing relationship. I don't really want to just, oh, that creator's bigger than me, I'll just try and collab with them for games or whatever. I don't really want to do that. I want to collab with like people I talk to and people I vaguely like and get on with. Friends is my preference, especially as I do view this more as a creative fun outlet as opposed to a career in any way. This is a hobby, so I think that makes it a little easier on that aspect for me personally. So not against it, just too scared to DM. And also figuring out like what to do. Has there ever been any drama between creators we don't see? Not that I know of. At least not in the UK. I feel like the UK is pretty tame, pretty laid back, pretty easygoing. Sometimes you see some like beef on over the pond, or often on Twitter, people on Twitter. So if you avoid Twitter, you don't really see it. And I'm avoiding Twitter more and more nowadays, so I don't really see anything. And at least in the UK, we're all pretty chill. I don't think I've ever seen any issues with UK creators. Just all pretty chill. What do you think makes you stand out from other creators? I have an absolute cough pile of manga. I'm not naive enough to think necessarily it is my radiant personality, glowing, flowing locks, or insane editing skills, because I do not believe I have any of those. I'm not naive enough to not think that a good reason people might watch my videos is due to having a very large, and I like to think varied, collection. I don't think my collection is... the main thing my collection is lacking is like older series, and it's something that's probably my mini goal of 2025, is to try and improve the older series situation. But I think it's probably because I've got an absolute cough pile of manga in my collection is a reason that I think people often watch my videos. And also maybe female UK with a big pile variety of manga. I feel like there's a lot less of us, unfortunately. Some of you might be here for my personality, at which point you're my favourites. Will you do more meetups outside of Leeds? For those who are unaware, we have held a couple of Dudette Discord meetups, both of which have been in Leeds. The first one was in August 2023 and we had about 20 people turn up. The second was in November 2024 and it went a bit wrong. We were initially going to have about 35 people turn up, but there was a weather warning and the trains fell in on themselves and it snowed a lot and a lot of people couldn't come, which was a shame, but I absolutely very much would rather people stayed home and were safe, as opposed to, I know there were a couple of people who got stuck on trains going home and I felt incredibly bad. To be fair, I wanted to cancel it. I was very anxious, but everyone wanted to keep going and I didn't want to like make people feel bad, especially the ones that had booked like train tickets and hotels. But I did want to I would have rathered people were like going to lose a bit of money on a train ticket as opposed to getting stuck. I would have been absolutely devastated if people got stuck. Will I run any more meetups? Currently, no. The reason for that is I find it incredibly stressful. Once again, the stress gets the better of me. I was so worked up and worried for both of them about it going wrong, losing someone, making sure because we were like moving as a group across a city centre. That's not a small thing. And Leeds is like a city centre I'm really fairly familiar with. And I still felt this incredibly anxious and stressed moving people in a location I was very familiar with. The thought of moving people in a location I'm not familiar with properly shuts me down. I'm tummy ache. So I'm not against it in a theory, but I don't think I can personally manage the stress of that kind of thing anymore. I know I just mentioned earlier about a London one. I feel like that's a little different in that I am acknowledging that's going to stress me out, but also would be in a fixed location and we wouldn't move, would be my intention. And also I feel like that's probably going to be a bit further down the line anyway. But I really struggled with the Leeds meetups, and it was absolutely lovely to see everyone. Don't get me wrong, there was no person or people that made it bad or in a way that I didn't want to do it again. It was entirely the act of was really worked up and worried something was going to go wrong. It was people to manage, making sure everyone got there okay, would get home okay, was traveling fine, knew where they were going, sharing maps and stuff. And yeah, I don't think I am yet in a place where I could comfortably do that again. Now, people want to arrange their own. There is a Birmingham one being arranged in the Discord. I unfortunately can't make this one, but I would be up for attending other ones if other people were arranging. I just don't think it's something that I myself can do, at least for a while. Do you feel it's sometimes less of a hobby since you like to upload consistently, so there might be more pressure? Every now and again, but I think something that really helped me was introducing early access memberships on my YouTube channel. So initially that wasn't the reason I added memberships to my channel. The reason I added memberships to my channel was because both Geeky and Himika were coming up to visit and we were going to do a live stream from my living room, and I really wanted to add some custom emotes. It turns out the only way you can add custom emotes to your channel when you're live streaming is through memberships. So I was a little annoyed, but I was like, fine, I'll do it. And I set it to the lowest cost I can, which is 99p. And I felt, I don't know if I'm going to stream enough for this to be worth it. I should throw something else in. And like the first thing YouTube suggests for a membership tier is early access to videos. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's try doing that. And at first I was trying to get videos up maybe a day earlier, which really helped me because sometimes I was like finishing thumbnails and then posting it immediately on the Friday. And then I started I'd have days where I was like, I really want to film and make content, and I'd film like 2 or 3 videos. And I think doing that and having like a bulk amount of videos to edit really helped me speed up my getting videos up. So at any one time, I've usually got more than 10 videos up for members currently. Some of them probably are never going to go public because they've been up for members for 2 years now. But I still find that I go through a phase, and for a week I might film 4 or 5 videos, and then I'll edit them for a couple of weeks, and then go through a phase where I film 4 or 5 videos and then edit them for a few weeks. And that is mostly what's helped me stay on top of my consistency. Even when I got COVID a couple of years back, I didn't film anything for 6 weeks, but I didn't need to because I had such a backlog built up that it didn't matter. And when I travel, I don't have to be concerned or worried because I'm ahead. Now sometimes I get sick enough or things happen, I catch up a little, and I might be not as far ahead as I used to be, but I do still have videos up. I can post something if I want to, and I kind of like maintaining that consistency. I definitely have aimed for the consistency over quality. I don't think my editing skills are as good. It's something, again, to work on. I'm quite happy with that, but I view my videos more as just like a vlog. This is what happened. I'm not too personally fussed about crazy editing and stuff. Sometimes I do it for fun. If I'm like, I want to do this and this and this, and I'll probably do some fun things with this video, but I'm not that bothered. I want to just talk and share that with you is kind of what I'm going for, and that definitely has helped with my consistency. Do you make profit as a creator or is it all for fun? Do I make some money as a creator? Yes. Do I make profit? No. I make some money from YouTube AdSense, which is way, way less than you probably think it is, especially in the UK. I think the UK creators get less than, say, our US counterparts. And I get some kickback from people who use my sci-fi code Caketinz, 5% off your order. And primarily what I ended up doing with that money was running giveaways. I predominantly did giveaways with the money I earned. Last year, so in 2024, I did over 60 giveaways. I did not realize it was that many until I looked at my spreadsheet where I tracked them all. I did over 60 giveaways last year, and yeah, I was shocked. Besides giveaways, I've updated some of my kits, and new microphones, new phone holders, lights, a couple of things like that. But I definitely don't earn, like, I can't live on it or anything. It makes it more comfortable to make content, and I really like giving back to the community. I really do like, oh, here's a manga I really liked, I'm going to try and do a giveaway with it, share it, like, or when they had cheap box sets on Sci-Fi, I'm going to share the box set. I'll do beans or gift cards during my Buy With Me streams, that kind of thing. I do think I need to manage my giveaways a bit better going forward. I had some issues with giveaways and entitlement, I guess. People complaining in my DMs that I've not won, why haven't I won? Or why haven't you done more giveaways? You should do more giveaways. I did 60! I did more than 60. That's more than one a week. Oh my goodness, calm down. It doesn't make me want to do more giveaways, it makes me want to do less. Yeah, it's not crazy, but it's nice. And it's quite nice to feel like, oh, I've done something. That's quite neat. Oh, I've been acknowledged. But yeah, most of it ends up going back into giveaways. Do you ever get nervous about putting yourself out there on the internet? So, yes, I do. Having grown up in a IT security focused household, I guess, talking about internet security and safety is something my dad is fairly specialized in. So making content and putting it out there, he had some questions about what I was doing in the lead up. What I share, I'm quite comfortable with what I share. There is, now in this day and age, there is a lot of information about a lot of people out there. I try to be kind of pragmatic about what is already out there. I don't really hide like how old I am, or, well, I don't hide where I work because I have a history of public speaking, being part of events and stuff with work, and it's not that hard to find out my ties to that. So I'm not like hiding it as well, and they're not that fussed either, which is quite nice. But it is, I think, hard sometimes putting yourself out there because it does open yourself up for a lot of stuff you don't necessarily expect, which kind of falls into the next question of how do you mentally deal with the negative comments on your videos? I'm sure some days it can get really hard. To be honest, poorly. I did initially cope incredibly poorly with negative comments on my videos. It wasn't just negative comments, to be fair. I think it kind of depends what kind of comments you're getting. At first, when you get some like hate, wasting your money, or just showing off, you're like, I don't really care. But it's comments like, I've had a lot of comments on, I watch the videos where you show your face, like, thank you. Your hair is gross, your face is gross. Why would you wear that? I don't like your cats. Had someone hate on my cats. Who leaves a comment hating on cats? That's so weird. I started to get a lot of like DMs. I got a lot of hate DMs, people complaining at me. If I'd block someone on one platform, they'd start DMing me on another. It's like, that's, stop that. I have had a lot of comments because I am fairly open with enjoying some of the more mature content, I suppose. A lot of comments or DMs from people being like, if I ever saw you on the street, I'm gonna insert some form of SA. And you're like, block. People who've said that they were gonna follow me home to rob my house. People who have tried to find out where I live to rob my house. People messaging that if I'm not going to share their content, it must mean that I hate them or hate something about them as a person, and they're gonna like publicly shame me. It's just just so strange. But there was a point where there was just a lot that happened at once and I did not go. And I would say what is important is, and it is really hard to do, and I still do struggle to this day, is focusing on the positive, focusing on the happy comments, the positive comments. And there is a difference between someone being like, oh, I don't think what you said about this series was very nice, or you've mispronounced this. I'm not considering anything like that hate comments, but saying like, if I see you on the street, I'm gonna turn da-da-da-da. What is wrong with you? And it's trying to get over that hurdle of, you aren't the problem, they are. There are people out there who watch your content and feel entitled to tell you what to do, try and manage what you're doing, manage what you're saying. They are not. And I think it is something that, because of the way I make content, I view this as a creative outlet, not as a job or profession or anything. It's just, I enjoy doing it, I like talking about it. Telling people like that to just get lost, I don't want you in my community anymore, it can be freeing. Also, I would say if you are having problems looking up the DM filters each social media platform might have, Instagram has quite a few layers of filtering. It's wonderful. There's like 4 different tiers. It's great. It's so easy to not even, sometimes they just don't even show you some of the hate messages anymore. That's definitely been wonderful. Twitter, TikTok, Discord all have various levels of filtering and blocking and hiding messages and stopping people being able to reach out to you. Definitely look into them. There was a period where I just shut down everything. Like pretty much no one could DM me anywhere because it just got too much. I think what's also helped is talking and reaching out to other content creators and hearing their stories. And yeah, there's a lot of batshit crazy, entitled, terrible people out there who are just absolute dicks. There's almost this level of, if you put yourself out there, I'm justified to bully you or tell you how it is. And it's like, no. What are you, 10? 12? Oh my gosh, what is this behavior? There's a difference between criticism and hate. And I don't see why my face is a reason. Like, if you don't like looking at my face, don't watch it. You can just listen. I know a lot of people just listen to my videos. Also, unsubscribe and move on. I am not gonna mind. I'm not gonna be heartbroken. I don't care at all, in the slightest whatsoever. But yeah, how do I mentally deal with it? Initially, I did not handle it well. I was not okay. I struggled quite a lot for quite a while. Having very supportive friends, having been supportive, and I threw myself a lot more into work as well. That helped a lot as well, and the cats. But also, working up and building yourself and bettering yourself mentally and understanding it's not you, it's them. I would say that's I feel like that's one of the most important things I've taken away from doing all this, is focus on the happy and leave the sad, angry, hateful people in the corner to themselves. And I do a lot better day by day. Would you do anything different with making videos if you started over? I think the main thing I would do is I wouldn't have used like a fancy camera. I'd have just used my phone. To be honest, I'd have just used my phone. I'd have also invested in better editing software a lot sooner. It used to take me like 3 to 4 days to edit a video because the software that I used was free and it just hung. I also used a very old laptop to do it on. So I updated my PC and, well, I got a hand-me-down PC that was still 10 years newer than the PC I was using. And I invested in better video editing software and it took me from 4 days to like 1 day. And I think if you are able and you are intending to do this long term, I highly recommend. There are other free editing softwares. I would very much recommend don't use Shotcut, which is the one that I used. So faff around a little with some editing softwares before you settle, and also don't invest in that much kit. You don't need to start with. You are very good with just using your phone and make some fun content. Anything beyond that I feel is more on personal preference. Personally, I like to edit out gaps. I try to edit out as many ums as I can, and I think good audio. How long do you think you'll make videos for? No idea. Till I get bored, till I've had enough. I don't see myself stopping in the foreseeable future. I really do enjoy making videos. I find making videos really fun, like really fun. Obviously, it's not something I'm going to be doing for life. I don't believe. I don't intend on making it a career or anything. I am just doing this for fun, which makes it a lot easier. I try to not look at the numbers too much. I just kind of, I fancy posting this, I fancy filming this, I fancy doing this, I'll post it. And I think that makes it a lot nicer long term when making content, because you can quite easily get bogged down in the numbers, especially the way that YouTube presents your most recent uploads. They have like a tiering system, 1 out of 10, 10 out of 10. And I think for me personally, because I don't focus on that much at all, really, it's almost going to help me prolong my content creation career. I guess. I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I don't see myself doing it long term. I don't know. I'd probably stick more around like Instagram long term. I don't know how long I'll keep doing YouTube videos for now. Though I do like doing YouTube videos because I yap like hell and it means I don't have to like cut it down too much. What advice would you give to someone who wanted to start making their own manga videos? I think I've talked a lot about sort of things I'm probably gonna say now anyway, which is like, decide why you're wanting to make videos. Are you just wanting to make have some fun, creative outlet? Are you trying to find friends, trying to build a community? Are you trying to do it long term as a career? I feel like if you're trying to do it long term as a career, my advice is not the right advice. You probably absolutely would tackle everything way different to how I do it. There's probably like better thumbnails editing and title editing and actually editing in the video that I don't really do and I'm not really that fussed about doing. I would definitely say audio matters more than video. As I said, I do know people do sometimes watch my videos, whether or not they dislike my voice, I don't know. I know sometimes people watch my videos and they don't watch the video, they just listen, and that's fine. And I think a video with poor video is way easier to watch than a video with poor audio. But saying that, I also think don't invest too heavily and too much up front. Are you going to stick with it? I feel like if you're doing this for more than like 6 months to a year, you probably are, and maybe making some investments then. But otherwise, just use your phone, get a phone stand on Amazon or somewhere of your retailer of your choice, £10–15 or so, get a nice one that extends as well, and then go from there. There are free phone editing softwares if you want to edit on your phone, not do a PC like I do. Longer term, I think PC is easier, but that is personal preference, and also if you don't have a PC, ignore me. I also think trying to establish yourself across other social medias does help guide an audience towards your videos. It was one of the reasons I think I did okay when I first started making YouTube, is I already had established a kind of Instagram audience and like directed people from there. I think the most important thing as well, and I think this again probably falls more into if you're just doing it for fun, I think coming across sincere in what you are thinking and what you're talking about. Especially towards the beginning, I sometimes found myself wanting to be quite like more positive on series, even if I didn't enjoy them, because I didn't want to upset anyone. But I think I would rather hear someone go, I didn't enjoy this because of this reason, as opposed to just going, oh yeah, I like this, I like this, I like this. Or even necessarily everyone else likes this, so I'm gonna like this. I would rather see people go, oh, it wasn't for me. And I'm not saying go in and hate all the series and be awful about it, everyone loves this and they're all wrong. I'm not saying do that. Everyone loves this series. I didn't enjoy it for this reason, but that's okay. That's absolutely fine. And I would consider normal almost. It's so weird if everyone enjoys the same thing. But you can very much dislike a series without actively hating on it, but I do enjoy seeing content creators just being more honest and open and be like, no, this wasn't for me. I know everyone likes it, I just couldn't get into it. Seeing that, it makes me feel like you're more your own person as opposed to being another carbon copy of others, if that makes sense. I'd rather see you. What do you like? What do you dislike? What is it about you that you enjoy? That's what I want to see. That's my advice. Did I answer the question? There we have it. That is all the questions I had. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope I've answered some questions that you found this interesting. If you have any more questions, I don't know if I'd do a follow-up. I don't know. Leave them down below and I'll try and look at them. I'm also really, really bad at remembering to look at comment sections. I'm trying to do better. I'm not doing well though. If you only take away one thing from this video, I hope that you take away that I do just genuinely absolutely adore the manga medium, and I want to just talk about it and share it with everyone so badly. If you did enjoy the video, do remember to like and subscribe. Check out my channel memberships. It's 99p a month for early access. There's a bunch on there. There might be a supercut of this. I don't actually know how long I've been filming. I'm tired. Remember to check out my other social medias found down below. I am very active on Instagram and a little less so on everything else. And once again, an absolute massive thank you to every person who has watched my videos, liked, followed, commented, DM'd me to chat fun manga things and not send hate or complaints about anything. I appreciate you. A massive shout out to my wonderful UK manga YouTube galleys. I love you so much. And Ben, you fall into that. As well as Kitsune Kigs on the Dudet Discord server mod team. Thank you so much for all of your support and everything over the years. Thank you so much. Appreciation. Thank you. Otherwise, I hope you have a most amazing day and I will see you next time. Bye!